Hello everyone, my name is Zach Del Curdy. Today I will present part 2 on how to deliver presentations. Throughout my presentation, I will discuss tips and advice for how people should deliver a professional presentation in front of an audience. The 4 main topics I will discuss include visual aids and handouts, how to interact with the audience during a presentation, effective team presentations, and how to be a supportive audience member. My goal for this presentation is to educate listeners with hopes of increasing awareness of presentation etiquette. I'll be starting our presentation off with visual aids. Visuals in a presentation can be very useful to capture attention from the audience. We do not want the center of attention on the visuals though. We need to make sure the central focus stays on us. Remember, the audience's purpose is to listen to you and become engaged with your topic, so make sure you are seen. In other words, keep the lights on in the presentation room. According to Gare Reynolds, most of our messages are expressed visually and vocally, with our words spoken only contributing about 7% to the messages we convey. So it's important to keep the focus on us as a presenter and not let dim lights or flashy presentation take away from the ideas we are trying to project. When you're in a slideshow, try to delay the starting slide with a story or scenario that pertains to your objectives. Starting your slideshow right off the bat can be an indication to the audience that you are nervous. If you are well rehearsed with your slides, there should be no reason to be nervous. Let your visuals do the talking for your results. Your words can focus more on the meaning behind your visual and results. If you can summarize your objectives, you create more impact in your presentation using visuals that your words actually support. This can reduce the amount of detail that you have to go into because visuals can show the details in the slide itself. Demers says, audience can read the slide themselves, and reading slides verbatim makes your presentations boring and hard to pay attention to. Previewing slides before giving away its information is one way to maintain your audience's attention. This makes you look more in control of the presentation and keeps the audience's focus on you. If you have access to a remote control for the slideshow, you can actively engage with more of your audience by moving around the room and can avoid standing in front of the computer screen. My last point on this slide should go without saying. Not only does your shadow take up this slide's screen, but you cannot see the audience well because the projector light's shining in your face. All PowerPoint template website posted an article about when to use blank slides. A quote from the article says, "Knowing how to use blank slides can make your presentation engaging, memorable, and impressive." I remember seeing my professors do this during lecture halls in college. I did not think too much of this at the time, but now I can see how this strategy can actually help us during a presentation. Simply pressing B on your computer will automatically pull up a black slide on the projector screen. Using a black slide is a great way to emphasize previous slides, regain attention from the audience, and ask questions to the audience. To illuminate the screen with a blank white slide, press the W key during your presentation. This type of blank slide is particularly useful for drawing illustrations, ideas, and processes on a whiteboard that is positioned either offset or in front of the projector screen. This helps the audience visualize your illustrations easier. Distributing handouts at the end of your presentation is the most common way when giving a presentation. Handouts can be used as a summary to review your presentation after its completion, and Douglin says that some may symbolize them as gifts or a thank you for attending your presentation. Some other benefits to this strategy include a less distracted audience so they can pay attention to you, and less background noise to enhance your focus on delivering the presentation. Most times when a handout is given before the presentation starts, the materials will be useful for throughout the presentation. These types of handouts include extra detail about slides, important readings that are just too long to edit into the presentation, or informative exercises the audience is asked to complete. When you're interacting with your audience and fielding questions, listen to the whole question and take time to think it over the best way to answer it. Asking an audience member to repeat their question is a great way to process your thoughts for a proper answer. But wait, Zach, if this is your presentation, you should have all the answers to any audience questions, right? This is actually not completely correct. Sure, it is best to know your presentation like the back of your hand and even have some answers ready for common questions. But there are going to be instances where the presenter will not know the answer to the audience member's question. We are only human. When this happens, just be honest with the audience and tell them you don't know the answer at this time. People get by in life speaking confidently and proud even when they know they are wrong. Faking an answer will not work during a presentation. If you try, the audience will pick up on your antics and your presentation will be a wash. Try not to feel ashamed if you don't know the answer. Be honest about not knowing the answer and tell the person you will find the answer to their question. Showing appreciation to your audience is so important if you want their full attention and genuine interest. Peter Carden says, showing you understand the significance of questions, validating the questioner, and thanking the audience helps strengthen an emotional bond between you and the members listening to your presentation. Belinda Huckle mentions in her article to answer in chunks if a long question is being asked, so your answer stays clear throughout your entire message. Likewise, if you have to answer a multi-part question, try answering each question individually. An example answer of a multi-part question could be, "Thank you, Mr. Smith, for your question. To answer the first part of your question, our goal from this project is to provide a glass recycling business. To address your second question, no, we have not had a location designated for this project yet." Some questions you receive from audience members may steer away from your objective in the presentation. Reel the audience back in by reframing their question in a way that aligns with your presentation. After you've finished delivering your slides, make sure to step away from the projector and dedicate time to audience members. This will help the presenter receive feedback and broaden their networking sphere. For group presentations, it is important to have a supporting team members that understand their role within the presentation and maintain the same objectives as you. When company executives and top leaders in an organization are taking questions from shareholders on an earnings call, team members such as the CEO or CFO will take lead on answering certain questions because they are more specialized to answer those particular questions. Teammates stick together for group presentations. When members are in close proximity, it gives off positive energy to audience members. Keeping interest in your teammates when they present and giving eye contact with audience members are also great strategies to present effectively in group presentations. Before you hand the stage over to the next speaker, make sure to summarize your main points from your portion of the presentation and introduce the team member with a preview of what they will be speaking about. This helps your audience understand the direction of the presentation and creates an easy path for your group member to take over. When you are presenting in front of an audience, you would probably feel disrespected if the audience were playing on their phones, slouched in their seats, or talking to a person sitting close by during your presentation. This is a great example for the golden rule. Do your best as an audience member, treating presenters with respect by being attentive and candid. I know I mentioned a lot of points during this presentation. The key takeaways I want you to learn from this is that a presenter needs their audience's full attention. As a presenter, we can keep the focus on our audience by using a proper amount of visual aids, fielding questions while being appreciative, and having a cohesive team with distinct roles. All of these strategies take a lot of fine-tuning and practice. As a member listening in on a presentation, try to be as involved as possible. Finding something interesting about the presentation and asking an informed question to the presenter. This is one way to be the best audience member in the room. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and even though I'm delivering this through a recording, I hope I effectively use some of these pointers during this slideshow. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.